So I'm sure many of you are wondering what that was leading up to, what I'm actually doing digging in the dirt as I'm wheeling out my bonsai trees. If you're unfortunate enough, like me, not to have a greenhouse or a way to protect your trees in the winter, you might find this new and perhaps slightly anecdotal way to protect your trees during the winter, especially if you're training them. And although I do bury my nicer pots in the soil, I don't think I would suggest that, just because some of them are quite expensive. Before I get carried away with all of that, I'd like to send a big shout out to all the guys at the Tree Mason Society, and first and foremost BC at Bonsai Cornwall. Great guy, passionate bonsai artist. All I'm doing now is leveling off a space for the first pot, which will kind of be my guide for all the other pots in the first row. Alright, so just brief interruption before I continue on with how I do this, because I'd like to give a proper shout out to the guys. I was just going to throw them down in the description, but you know, that's really not right. So this is in no particular order, and I didn't meet them in this order, but I would like to give a shout out to Gav at Not Another Bonsai Channel, Callan at Rosian Bonsai. Let's see if I can get all this. Andy at Bonsai Crazy, Dan at the Bonsai Project, Kurnow, also Dan at Dr. Bonsai, Jay from Bonsai is Forever, Matt at Bobcat Bonsai, and I did briefly meet Scott, although I don't know his channel. I got to say a little bit to him, say hi to him, but Scott, if you're watching this or you do pick up on this, I'm very sorry. Maybe the guys will get on me and let me know what your channel is. So anyways, back to work. Typically tallest trees in the back for access sake. So this is a Princess Persimmon on its 4th year. Essentially, that sets the first one. And then I mound soil over it, and if you're not squeamish, you can just use your hands. I'm kind of a rough guy. I always have dirt, sawdust, paint, or any other kind of chemical on my hands. So yeah, when you're tossing the soil about, try not to clog up your bonsai soil. Still want to aim for that balance of oxygen and water. You still want good drainage. And so what you'll see I'll do is I'll make a wall between the first pot and the second pot. Making a wall up front as well. So this is a narrow-bladed garden tool known as a homie. It's a Korean tool. I felt I could get away with this because they go in their dormancy, and you may be wondering, the leaves are still green, and I might be contradicting myself, but such is life. I can't shuffle them in and out of the garage and keep up on the watering and not destroy the garage in the process. And weather's getting fairly cold. I imagine these leaves will be dropping fairly soon, a couple of weeks at most. So I'm just gonna go ahead and keep on with it. Alright, so I started this late in the evening, so it's fairly dark right now. The first row went in. Started the second row, I'm at about 11 out of 82. The whole process probably takes 4 or 5 hours, I would say, for that many trees. They're young trees, regardless of the shape of the pot, circular, square, an actual ceramic bonsai pot. Typically when I plant seeds, I usually just go for just straight garden soil, nothing special. Let them grow on the first year. In the spring the following year, I work on the roots, cut up the tap root, perhaps minimal pruning, and perhaps some wiring to set up the primary structure, the primary trunk. And so that's year 2, and at that they either go in bonsai soil, or I might just put them in garden soil again, but I'll use the scraps and my siftings from my old soil and mix it in with the garden soil, like a 50-50, give it a little more aeration than what garden soil has. Kind of, in my mind, you kind of coaxing them into the bonsai soil, because you really can't beat garden soil, enriched garden soil, especially where I'm from. Washington has very rich soil, so I take advantage of those first couple of years. There's this saying that I've told to a few friends: time is its own character. Time, like money, is its own form of currency. You're going to spend it whether you like it or not. And the truth is you just need to get your seeds in the ground. The years will roll by, things will happen, but you still have your trees. There's a saying I'm sure a lot of you that grow trees probably know. It's a question, really. When's the best time to plant a tree? Answer: 20 years ago. Follow-up question: when's the next best time? And that answer has always been right now.